Hello. Hi, 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 hi. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry if the sound is not great. Um, hi, my name is Zia. Welcome to the live stream. Playing but Elite Dangerous. But unfortunately, I have to admit, I'm not in the greatest condition, so it might be a bit short, might be a bit long. We're gonna aim for about, oh, however long I can survive, to be honest. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I'm gonna play a bit. Gonna do a couple of things just to get a few things sorted out. Before I try and hit the community goal, well, not really community goal, community um, alienation and separation between these communities, and Frontier Development deciding that, oh, they've still got too many people playing the video game. Better start making them fight each other so they all, well, you know, start getting bickering amongst each other and break them apart more, because they already separated their fan base between the people who like thyroid content and not, by just pandering to the thyroid content. So now we're doing everything just power play content. Great. Yeah, so you can get to everyone separated in 9 groups and have everyone start fighting each other and then hate each other because of competitive community goals, and we all have to basically participate in them anyways, regardless if we want to or not, because they give huge special fucking guns, and which is infuriating, resulting in a situation where everyone hates each other. Let me just check your audio. That's just so I can hear myself. I think that might be correct on the audio side. I don't know. But anyways, for those of you who are watching in the future, thank you very much for watching. For those who have just will be joining us or joining us, welcome. I like to live stream Saturdays and Sundays for an hour to 2 hours, depending on how things go. And I do tend to just stream whatever the hell I want. I am not in the best condition. As for the ship I'm using, that I'll be using for when I do a little bit later the community goal, it is the Crate Phantom, which is arguably quite a nice ship. I would say it's definitely if you get the right setup, it actually becomes quite a good. I hear a dog barking. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's going to be a slightly bit slow day because I am tired. Sleepy. Bit overstressed. It's been real fucking cold here in South Africa. People will tell you that climate change isn't a thing. Well, fuck me. You know how bad the fucking weather has been getting here in South Africa. Ah. And these houses aren't designed for cold weather. They're designed for South Africa's weather. But South Africa is now experiencing quite a heavy blow from climate change, and things have gotten. Like I hear from friends I've spoken to who live in England and the British Isles, they have been suffering under a heat wave, a massive spike in heat temperature this summer. It's been the hottest summer ever. And for here, it's been freaking cold as all hell. And it's like something like, well, what do you do then? But yeah. Climate change. Wow, what a fucking thing. Wait. Climate change is real? What else is real? Is the vapor trails also real? Well, no, vapor trails are a real thing. That's what happens when you don't have the right wingtip for your aircraft. It's like there's a whole point of those aircraft start getting the little flicked up wingtips is to reduce the vapor trail or eliminate it entirely. And while some military ships will all have like a little bowl or a little lump at the tips of the wings to essentially counteract that effect, because it does actually cause a bit of erosion on the wingtips and the destabilizing of the flight model? No, that's for video games. Flight characteristics of an aircraft. So like generally it is actually a good idea to eliminate vapor trails as much as possible. I mean, there's like an example of what happens when you've got because like a similar sort of concept happens as well in the water. When water goes, almost most of the water with too much speed, like with a ship's propeller can often rotate at such a level that it actually causes it to cause very microscopic bubble pockets, and that let's just go lightweight and then special effect, deep plating. Of course, we'll have to get a bit more on that maybe a little bit later, but for now I just want to get that done. And the missiles. I mean, I've got enough resources to make this a full engineered one. Now this is of course I thought like, wait, why didn't you Zia, why didn't you do the thing with this? We'll get the previous community goals special missile launcher. Ooh, it's got anti FSD thing on it. Yeah. You know that thing's got like 10 times the fucking weight. And I wish I was over exaggerating. And it also has that annoying little bit of a side note that it has a issue with incredibly low fire rate and lower damage. And I hate to break this to you, but if you ain't fucking killing a target, and like I don't do that much piracy anymore, so I don't care. And usually when you do piracy, if you do it proper, there's never a situation where they're jumping, or the NPC you're pirating is never jumping away. And there's I thought, okay, well, what if your PvP... It's basically for PvP and for ganking. Or for your open play stuff. Because in general, it's not going to be useful. Especially for someone like me that's going to be... needs a bit of good fire rate. And I like to use quite a bit of missiles, so I like to throw those things out like crazy. So... Do we go drag? Yeah, a bit of drag. Nah. Um, because ideally I want to optimize damage, because the weapons I have, my primary weapons, of course, are going to be very good at ripping off shields. I want something that's going to be able to slightly improve my chances of dealing with flighty little buggers. Right. That's that done with. G. I need to do the power plant to do multi-cannons. She's useless. Useless. Felicity Farseer would be the best bet to go next, yeah. Yeah, I need to go do my shield generator. Going to Felicity would also allow me to swap around some other modifications as well to make things a bit better. Make myself more combat ready. I need to also stop by Todd the Blaster McQuinn. And McQuinn. If anyone doesn't understand what I just said, well, you shouldn't be watching my channel. Go to YouTube Kids and watch what YouTube Kids. Go back to school, do your school homework. Fuck off. Did I actually post that thing? Oh, oopsie. I might also have to check. I might also have to check which target is going to be the best one to strike. Because ideally, if one of them is actually very close to one of my borders, I'll have to pick the side that's shooting that target. By my borders, I mean Denton Patreus. Patri. Patrius. Patri. Daddy Patri. And we'll need to take things there. To check there. I'm gonna have to go there, check those things, get those things picked up. Check which ones go. Because ideally, if I can also get some merits for undermining the faction that I'm shooting there as well, because it might, I don't know. Then I can double whammy this stuff. Plus, anyone wondering, I am, of course, not playing in open. Because fuck that shit. Whoa, my legs are cold. Cold's really coming in. Should we have a temperature update whilst we're here? Ooh. 7 degrees Celsius. Bit of a warm night compared to the previous nights we had. It's going to drop down to about 4 degrees Celsius tomorrow. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Which is quite unfortunate. I really ought to think.
Orbital flight engaged.
What would be a way? If I'm going real slow, I do understand I am falling asleep right now. I probably shouldn't have live streamed at all, you know. Oh, but I do want to keep this habit up. Live stream, live stream, live stream. It's a nice bit of break from the usual 3D modeling and life and everything. And who knows, maybe if enough people subscribe, I can get a bit of income from it as well. What you can also do is that if you hate me, do note, of course, that I've got a little soft goal going on in the background, which is if I get 1,000 subscribers, let's say 1,000 or 500 or whatnot subscribers, I will then go and get the cutter. I don't want the cutter. I never ever want to touch the cutter again. I refuse to ever touch the cutter again. Unless, of course, people can convince me by getting me enough support. Oh, big yawn. Whiskey, that's what W is.
Access granted. Proceed to landing pad 04.
Zulu Mike Whiskey. That's what we're looking at. I'm curious, I always make the flight control say my ship tag instead of my name. And the 3 letters of my ship ID is usually along a little system that I've got for myself. It's my name, Zia, so Z is the first letter. Second letter is Psi, so it's S, it's either Sierra, Mike, or Lima. Is it Lima? I suddenly can't remember. It's not Ligma. Wow, that's fucking bad taste. Lima. Lima? Lima. Experimental effect. Do I have enough parts to actually give myself drive distribution? Yeah. I do drag drives, but it gives too much side effects, and I don't really want to deal with those side effects right now. I've got power draw reduction on that. Shield boosters, power draw. Resistance augmented. Flow control. Reduce power draw. Thermal resistant one, on the other hand. Experimental effect. Thermal block. Just to bump that up a little bit more. We have long range sensors, power plant. Now, this is the thing about it. We can either go stripped down, save a bit of weight, counteract the armored power plant's side effects. Go double brace, but it's not going to be pointless because it's already armored. And I've got a module reinforcement package in here. Thermal spread will of course help if I use a lot of big slapping weapons or monstered, which is going to negatively affect it. So it's going to be stripped down. Yeah.
Shields offline.
Wee.
Shields online.
Honestly, I just need to do the multi-cannons, then I can actually go to the community goal. Who's the nearest multi-cannon to it? At my current location, that would be Toddy. I probably should also do the shields. But I don't actually need to do much on the shield, no? Do I? No. No, I remember now. I don't need to do the shield generator. I already got the shield generator. What's wrong with my head? Anyways. Then we'll hit the community goal once I do that. Yeah. And see how horribly this goes.
Landing gear retracted.
Ideally, I should actually also do the whole armor as well. So at 4 pips, I can now comfortably do a boost of 496. It's nice. Although I'm not gonna, don't quite have fully engineered engines yet. But you know, this will make a nice little combat ship. Well, warship to be precise, because I usually use a bounty hunting ship and usually have it designed for fun. Not so much a war ship, because that's sort of the thing that I like to rag on about, is that there's a difference between a combat ship outfitted for bounty hunting and there's a combat ship outfitted for war. And one of the big issues is if you are working with a ship. And so why I don't like the Python Mark II is it's not a combat, it's not a war ship, it is a interceptor ship. High performance interceptor, not an actual slugging combat ship. But I do wonder sometimes if what would you classify the a multi-role ship in a combat configuration as a warship or a battleship? No, because warship or destroyer. Because it comes down to the idea of like, okay, what's your focus there? Is it going to be survivability? Like a lot of the combat ships are for like I would call a battle combat focused ship, a battleship, which usually has a couple of optional internal slots for hull reinforcement packages, which is great because it makes it very good for hull tanking. Those, and they are generally just designed to really just dish out quite a bit of damage whilst also taking quite a bit of beating. but they are not destroyers. And not considering the whole classification of ships we use in real life, but more like in the sense of they're designed to have okay health, but more deal focused on damage. Whereas things like the Third Lance, the Python Mark II are completely ignore any and all sense of personal survivability and just focus on firepower. Because that's one of the two things that can happen there. So you got to do that or that. Which way around?
Frameshift drive charging.
I don't know what you would people would consider, because would you want to separate it into? Because the idea is like you've got high performance interceptors and you have main battle line combat ships. That's your sort of two categories. Main battle line, things like your Federal gunship, Federal assault ship, the Alliance Challenger, Crusader, so on. And your high performance interceptors, Mamba, Verdelons, those things. But if you now want to try and diversify the sort of idea here, alright, okay, so but what does the multi-role ships fall into when you make them into combat ships? And well, I guess it also depends on what kind of setup you use. But the important thing to remember is that if you've got things like the Python, the Corsair, the Crate Mark II, the Crate Phantom, they've all got size 7 power distributors, which definitely puts them in a different type of category compared to other main battle line ships and the high performance interceptors, because the high performance interceptors don't have size 7 power distributors, and they often do find themselves lacking in enough energy to fire heavy duty weapons, unless you go to the extremes. And like I've mentioned before, sometimes on a few times in the past with the streams, is that they sacrifice a lot of defensive capacity to just deal damage. Now that might be fine if you're really good, but unfortunately not everyone can have 4 pips in shields, thrusters and engines. Because that's one of the big arguments where people get into is about which combat ship is the best or which one performs best. They're always just looking at the stats on Coriolis or whatever shipbuilding app you like to use, and they don't really consider the fact that, yeah, you gotta fly this thing at some point, and unless you've got 4 alt accounts, you ain't getting all those pips in. And spoiler alert, you can't wing with 4 AFK bots in your ship. At max you can do 3, and some of these ships don't have enough room for 3 people to just be sitting there giving you extra pips. Yeah. Oh, but don't take my word for it. I'm just a noob. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to learn to play better so that I have 3 pips in also in systems, thrusters and weapons, you know, at the same time. You know, it's a skill gap, you know. If I really had skill, I would I've known to download this and that hack and patch so that I can just have infinite energy in all systems and have insta-gear weapons, and I'd be the best ever. Yay! God damn it! Fucking what the hell is up here with Trophy Camp? Get me in closer, you fat ass ship. Can't talk bullshit about main battle line in high performance interceptor ship categories forever. God damn it. Oh, my fuel's getting a bit low. That's interesting. Did I fill up last time? Can't remember now. But yeah, I should actually get the hull properly engineered, but it's not going to be too much of an issue. If I do engineer the hull, I could probably get another 1 or 2 kilometer per hour speed. Or meters a second speed.
Zulu, Mike, Whiskey. Automated flight control protocol initiated. Please submit a request prior to landing. Docking permission authorized. You may proceed to landing pad 07.
Landing gear deployed.
Come on. Land. Do.
Docking procedure completed. Ship secured.
Let's just quickly get this multi-cannon. I mean, I've got enough. No, I don't have enough to actually fully upgrade it. Shit. Mechanical components! This is... I'm sorry for my little bit of outburst. But, yeah. Fuck mechanical components. Bloody hell. I mean, we can actually get it to at least level... next level up, so it's actually going to be half decent. Experimental effect. Thermal shock, no. Smart rounds, corrosive, emissive munitions. I like to have that one for my multi-cannons. There's probably a billion people who are going to tell me that's incorrect and I shouldn't be using that. Nevertheless, you know, go fuck yourself. Let's make sure everything's set up again on the power priorities because I've been fiddling around with engineering now. I'm going to take a few second break just to quickly stand up. I'll be right back. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get a camera here just to like let this so we can have something for like a queen and sailor. Whilst I quickly take a quick little wee little break for the little lass. Wee little break. Oh. Back soon. And I'm back. Now, oh, that's a whole bunch of rustling. Sorry about that. Oh no, wait, what the hell is this thing now? All right, okay, right. Let's think. There is a list of systems that each of these people are attacking, right? Oh god, this is going to be the confusing part now. Right, so they're basically hitting Asking Devolve from multiple angles, and all the simps in the entire universe will be rallying behind her. No one cares. Yeah, Santi is where one of them's happening. But that's sort of like the Asking Devolve's place, right? Ugh. Fucking clicking on the fucking wrong shit. It made me pissed off. Alright, power play mode. Let's give me my power. Nearest community goal to my locations, where I traditionally have a stomping ground, is going to be here. But is that the community goal or the target system? Because that's really the annoyance here. It's not quite... Holy shit, that's got a lot of undermining. Ah! Fuck ass thing to Val, I guess. I want to check here. Do excuse me whilst I am slightly bit alt-tabbed. Oh, we're gonna have to try and get this sorted out. I need to see which one of these is the most likely I can slightly abuse at the front lines of Archer's attack. And then there is... So there's various different... this is actually the interesting thing about this community core. It's like a full-on proper war. Threesome war. Right. Okay, so that's Gondor. In power conflict, does Li Yong raise territorial opposition? Archer's exploitation of imperial weakness. And Asting Duval's call to arms is may contribute by at power conflict zone. Power conflict zones may be found in the following lines of Asting's defense. Oh, I see how it works now. Is that's the actual point where the community goal is being operated from out of, but the actual thing is what's happening is that if I go sign up there, it'll be an actual way for me to kill things. Now, question is though, let's bring power play. Toggle all powers. And what I want to do is I want to see where's a nice close one to one of the Deton Patrie sectors. So that's Gondor. I think that's not quite close enough. Let's see here. Let's try this one. I mean, technically, I could just help Aston Duval, but fuck that bitch. Wait, come on. No, not really. Raw toucan. Even further away. Santi. Is of course where that. Holy shit, that's a lot of fucking numbers. It's way too far. Jerome Archer, and all I can think about is that that horrendous TV series called well, not TV series, or animated series, whatever, called Archer. I unfortunately didn't watch much of that show because it was just so horrendous. I just did not like it. I did not like the animated show Archer. I didn't like it. I just didn't. Okay, now question is, do I want to shoot Asling Duval or shoot Lee Yong Rui's people? I guess it probably depends on which one's going to be easiest for me to get into the top 75% so I can get the double reward. The top 75... Oh yeah, excuse me, this is going to be real boring. Oh, waffle about off-screen numbers. The Lee Yong Rui's top 75 is 1 million to 3 million, or 2 million to 4 million, let's say that. And defending Asling Duval with all the other simps is 1 million to 3 million. So it's going to be the easiest to do Asling Duval. Contributors. I mean, for how popular Asling Duval is, her supporters are a little bit lacking. Like, in Lee Yong Rui's and Archer's squadrons, people supporting is they're really starting to... They're really starting to... They're not going to be as quite optimal. Well, I see Duval's a more higher number. It's going to be easier for me to get into the top 75. And I'm also curious what's going to happen if I actually go into one of these places and actually sign up for a thing. Who knows? I want to see what happens. Will I actually get merits for Daddy Patrius when I am there? Yeah, I guess. We're supporting Asling Duval! Oh, God damn it. Blech. I've vomited in my own mouth. Right. We need to go here first. To her stronghold for this CG. And then go from there. Alright, I guess I probably should update the title, but then again, I did say, and I did say in the announcement that I did maybe I do the CG, and guess what? Well, we're gonna be doing the CG. We're going to do CG. Community goal. Or, not really community goal, more community, annihilation, communication, disassociation, killing, murdering, etc. Chaos, death, whatnots. Oh yeah, you're supposed to like say a whole bunch of keywords to make sure YouTube's algorithm helps you. So I've got to say Skibidi, Renamon, Trump, vodka, Pokemon is probably also another thing I should just say out loud. What are the keywords to really fuck up the algorithm? I forgot there was actually a full list of those. Soccer, football. Yeah, it's so ridiculous, this sort of thing to be doing. Yeah, whatever. Well, let's go ahead. Let's see if this horrendous setup I've got here is actually worth half a damn. Warning, though, in coming moments, things might get a bit loud. Because I am using Guardian plasma chargers. And Guardian plasma chargers tend to be very loud. Bunda. I think something's odd here. 28, 29, 25. Yeah, that's fine. Just for a moment curious about whether or not I was doing the right jump range. Right. Where are we heading? This is of course the boring part of the stream where we're just jumping endlessly. Get to the community goal. Wonderful. For those who've just joined us now, maybe a reminder for those, of course, who are watching in the future, watching the VOD back. My name is Zia. I like to live stream on Saturdays and Sundays, but sometimes a bit irregular on Sundays. I play a variety of little things. I like playing a lot of Elite Dangerous, mostly. And make sure to like and subscribe. Am I going to have enough fuel for this? Maybe not. That's going to be awkward. If I run out of fuel...
4, 3, 2, 1.
But yeah, this video is of course being available on VOD. Video on demand, which is a nice thing about it and why I like enjoying streaming to YouTube. And besides the glaringly obvious reason to stream to YouTube versus streaming to Twitch TV is that, well, Twitch TV is a bunch of fucking cunts and they don't allow South Africans to stream on their service. So what are we gonna fucking do? But I think it's also a nice thing about YouTube is it automatically throws everything into a VOD, and because it's YouTube, I can also have a bit more control about some of the quality settings and everything that goes around there. So it's quite a lot better for me to stream to YouTube. Well, St. James, we're about to have a live stream fuck up. I don't have enough fuel. I do not have enough fuel. Yee. Let's see. Can I push this? I really think I can push this. This is really why I like to have an extra fuel tank on all our ships. But because I specifically made this to be a warship, I didn't quite fit a extra fuel tank of notable size and volume and usage, so I was a bit short, and that is now sort of slowing. The community goal has to be at what station? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to alt tab again. I fucking hate this. Mogmaring. I'm probably mispronouncing that. My apologies to everyone who is from Mogmaring and this thinks I've slandered their city name. I mean, of course, it's just Mogmaring is a fantasy city. Who are you? What are you doing? I do excuse me if you see sometimes a bit of stutter on the screen. I'm not too sure exactly what's happening. Something happened with a graphics card driver update, and it's not very common, and it feels like it's more happening with the screen rather than in-game or on stream. I'm not too sure what's happening. Then again, my equipment is very old. The screen is over 10 years old. I think it's about 10 years now, yeah. I've had this screen as long as I've been playing Elite Dangerous. So, ideally, if I can get some income sorted out, I actually get the screen upgraded and get a new screen for my computer. One that is maybe a bit more stable, a bit more new, fresh, not old as fuck. Yeah. But yeah, we are now going into the station with only a little drop of fuel. Lovely. I don't have heat sinks on this. This is another thing where I don't quite like warships and don't like doing combat zones, is because I can't really fit a heatsink, and it annoys me to no end. I wish. I wish I could have. I was actually wondering something. It's like an idea for a type of new module. That could be maybe like in the future. The Guardian Hull Integrity Shield. You take it instead of having a shield generator. And basically what it does is it basically creates a sort of like integrity field with your hull, and basically takes your shields and puts it on the hull. But of course it takes up your shield, so you don't have a shield anymore. And any of your shield boosters are now suddenly providing for your hull instead of for your shield. And basically it does a little bit of, it increases your hull by a little bit, but mostly it gives you extra resistances and reduces the amount of internal module damage you will receive. It basically would be the hull tank's wet dream, basically, I guess. Alternatively, you could make the system like that, like a minor shield, so you've always got like something like 200 hull armor that constantly replenishes over time. But if someone is able to deal enough damage, they'll just blast right through you. But it's like something a bit different, and it's like a bit more Guardian theme, like high-tech theme, whatnot. But honestly, I'd rather just have a Guardian pulse laser.
Safe and secure, systems offline. Our facilities are at your disposal, Commander.
Or access to being able to engineer Guardian modules would be quite nice. Especially since we seem to be having a trend of just having ridiculously somewhat overpowered double engineered modules being thrown at us like no tomorrow. Join Asting Duval's call to simps to protect her feet pics. Alright, okay. Look, where... Can I...
Incoming message.
Okay, yeah, the data actually says that, but like, usually it flashed up with the message just as you clicked on it. Oh, well. They're still playing around with that system of like you can only sign up for one side anymore, and they're not quite done the tooltips correctly. I'm guessing they need to get the GUI squad out and actually make the GUI modifications and GUI all over the screen before that's working properly. Anyways, I guess I'm going to one of the power play conflict zones, which won't be here, right? What are the zones that we can go to for this? There's that one that I saw that was nearby that I specifically want to hit, which is the Liongre Gondul zone. Bissell Landing, Floridock, and the Obsidian Directive. Right, let's go die, I guess. Gondor. Because I am kind of a bit curious if any of these are close enough for me to actually get a bit of double dipping in.
Detachment sequence complete. You are clear for departure.
Just because I don't like the idea of flying inside an enemy's territory without where I can be easily scanned, let's just do a little bit of silent running.
Warning. Temperature critical. Thermal signature restored. Frameshift drive charging.
It's surprising I actually run quite cold with this setup.
Speed restrictions lifted. Safe travels, Commander.
Which is why I like the Crate Phantom. It's actually got good cooling. It's a nice chill ship, with the advantage of having a size 7 power plant and a size 7 power distributor. It makes it for a very nice, efficient ship. It can fit a lot of things, you can play around with it, it's very versatile. You can really lay into people with some heavy sort of weaponry. Yeah, see there it happened there with that little stutter. I'm not sure if that actually appeared on the stream or not. Because it certainly doesn't seem to appear on my... It doesn't say I've lost any... I haven't had any sort of dips in frame rate or anything, but it's definitely a stuttering happening with my screen, and I'm wondering if it's the cable or the screen. Something with the driver. Oh well. We're stuck on 94%. What-do?
Shields online.
Yeah, there. Power conflict zone. All medium intensity. I don't quite want to be around that ship, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the small stations, because then I won't have to worry about accidentally hitting a massive target. That's something I definitely want to try and avoid. Medium, medium, medium. It's a bit unfortunate. There's no low. I would rather do a low, to be honest. Hey, does that actually also be a bit of test to see if Frontier Development have fixed the power conflict zones? Because there used to be that bug with power conflict zones just not existing for anyone outside of the UK. And I'm in South Africa, so let's see what happens. Fire group? Yeah, fire group's already done. I did reload my ammunition. Got my module priorities done. Let's die horribly. And my shields are now fully charged. Wonderful. That's the thing I like about bioweaves, and why I believe in taking bioweaves over prismatics or A-class shields. Correctly set up, you can actually have a great setup where you just don't have that too much downtime. Of course, in a conflict zone, that's a bit of a different story because, well, as I've mentioned before, I really don't do combat much. I do bounty hunting, but not war zones. Now, do I get a message that says join X or Y faction? Not really, no. But what I heard is that you just have to go in and start blasting. That is a not a target I want to be shooting. I do not want to be shooting a Viper Mark IV. Viper Mark IVs are the most dangerous things in a conflict zone. And this is why we take the plasma charges with this ship. Hello, hello, hello. Would you like to be introduced to my weapon? And this is the part where things get a bit loud. Do excuse me if things get a bit difficult to hear. Goddamn, plasma charges are incredibly loud. They're also incredibly loud in multiplayer as well, because everyone in the zone can hear them. So, what was that? Did you get your shields back? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking those off. Damn it, missed that. Get a bit of power there. And the advantage is, even if I'm firing at low energy, this thing can at least repeated firing, just completely ruining the sound system.
Under attack. Target destroyed.
Wait, what's that? Leon Ray Lawless. Big boy. Can I even take on a big boy? I might need to focus on engines and... I'm getting hit a bit hard here. Well, if I just keep hitting them instead. Let's do this like that. I don't have to worry too much about maneuverability against this target. Just need to keep firing, keep feeding those plasma chargers. No, they're reloading! Can't hear anything except the screeching of plasma chargers. I have come screaming from hell.
Temperature critical. Target destroyed.
See if I could really just cheekily regenerate some of my shields, because I've got pie weaves. Alright, this person here seems like they've got some dangerous weapons. No, that's one of the friendlies. Leon Rui would be a nice little bit of option here. Ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba. It's a bit of a faster enemy, so let's make sure we keep energy in there. Annoyingly, there does seem to be quite a bit of anti-missile coverage. Whoopsie. Come on. Oi. Whoopsie. Excuse me, ladies. This is like some of the disadvantage of this build is that it suffer a bit in the realm of trying to fight smaller, more nimble enemies, but that's why I have the multi-cannon and the missile launcher to try and mitigate those problems. And generally, the engineered plasma charges have great velocity, so it's generally you can just keep hitting them, especially if they think that jousting you is a good idea. Repeatedly jousting against an enemy that relies on you being dumb and jousting. Let's get this a bit like this. Oh no, I wish I had that bloody missile launcher now. He's going to get away. But guess what? He's going to get away anyways because I don't have... Because he's got missile coverage. Alright? The missile launcher would not have helped me there. Also, I did just kill him. Right, let's regenerate shields and go to the next one. How much ammo do I have? Ah, I've got ammo for days. This is the advantage of plasma chargers. Infinite ammo. Not really infinite ammo, but as close enough as the infinite as for my purposes. I should actually check. Has this thing actually now updated properly? And it just says insufficient bonds. Create bond by the Pilots Federation. Presumably I have to go back to the CG home. To probably get my contributions in.
Target shields online. Target destroyed.
That is weird. Like I don't get really messages, but it is popping up there. Oh no, I'm not shooting that thing. It's Viper Mark IV, like the most notoriously fucking hardest things to kill. Harder to kill than a cutter. Well, these are always sometimes a bit of a trick to get killed because sometimes... See, an issue is when you shoot a Cobra Mark III with a missile, there is a good chance that it will destroy their engines, and then you will see the Cobra Mark III's special ejection system, where if the engines are shot out, the Cobra will gain a massive increase in speed and then yeet you out of the conflict zone, allowing you to escape the battle safely. It's a feature, genuinely. They are. It's one of the only ships that I know of that can somehow fly faster when its engines are shot out. Hey. No, I'll just slap you. Where do you think you're going? I hope... I'm gonna have to watch this back when I'm done and see exactly how ungodly loud this fucking plasma charges are on the live stream. Oh. Did someone's engine just die? Yep. I think it has. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, just clapped them right at the right time. Oh, that is excellent. Oh, the sound is really glitching out for the plasma charges now. I might want to see if some of my settings, if there's something I can do to... It's definitely Elite Dangerous itself that's having issues with the plasma charges sound.
Target destroyed.
We... Is there anything specific I want to shoot up here? Yeah, see what I mean? So we just quickly looked there in the list and it was like, a lot of these Lee Young-Ree ships that are currently alive is the Viper Mark IV. It is the most ridiculously survivable little shit. And I'm real sorry about the language, but it is a really survivable little shit. Oh, excuse me, lady. Oh. Yeah, this one's lost. No, it's still got its engine. It's trying to get me to accidentally shoot the station, but I'm going to flip around like this. I need to fill up my capacitors again.
Target destroyed.
Bang. Lamau. Any Cobra Mark 4s and oh, there's a vulture. I mean, a Cobra Mark 4 is a nice flat target to shoot with plasma accelerators. It's a nice way to blow them up. Yeah, let's go for this one. I spy with my little eye. A little someone I want to end. We have a long range shot now, I don't like doing those. Those of you who are watching, please do give a little comment if the plasma charges are incredibly loud or not. it does help a bit of feedback and make the show a bit more enjoyable if I have some knowledge about exactly what's going on, so it is a bit more easier to handle. Or are you a person like me who I genuinely quite enjoy the noise? Come on, it's nearly dead. There we go. Of course, I don't actually have a system yet so that people who chat in YouTube chat shows up on screen. I really want to try and find a way to get that working in some kind of fashion. You know, be inclusive to people, those who watch live, so their comments are seen during when people watch the VOD. You know. It also helps with context in case someone says something in the live chat. But yeah, I do love the noise. Loud, accurate, and with repeated hits, becomes a deadly weapon. Oh no, someone's engines are out. Oh no, he's going to crash. So someone help him. Oh, I just want to quickly... Where is he crashing to? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, he flew right past the station. Oh no! Oh, I just didn't want to hit him by accident. I was like, oh no! See, that's the Cobra ejection system. As the moment your engines are out, the ship starts leaving the sector. Granted, for some reason, it's no longer going at the high velocity it used to. So I guess I'm slightly wrong there. They must have updated the ejection system to be a bit more fair to other pilots, so it wouldn't completely take you out of the system as the same velocity as what it used to. Bob. Go eject somewhere else. Ooh, that's something you don't see often in a conflict zone. Or I don't do that many conflict zones, so I don't know. Is a phantom. Allow me to show you what a real phantom's build looks like, friend. See if you... Oh, no, wrong button. If you build your plane incorrectly, you wouldn't die so easily towards me. Yeah. Fire the missiles. Guess what? I can keep clapping you with my body. And it's not too much of an issue for me, because I've got hull armor and I've got a fast regenerating shield. Damn. Oh. My hands are seizing up. Fatigue. Combat fatigue. Ah. That's a problem with it being so bloody cold here in South Africa, is of course eventually my hands start to seize up. Also, I think one of his buddies is constantly hitting me, which is slightly annoyingly. Well, that's what you call pip management. Well, I am soon going to lose my shield, and honestly, I'm not too in the mood to check how well survivable this ship is. Let's try and get rid of this guy ASAP. The gaze engine. I don't know, but I don't want him to regenerate his shield, so... There we go. Got rid of it. Alright, let's save evasively and try and regenerate our shields. But to be honest, I just ran out of missile ammo. I could be cheeky and just do a reload here in the field, but honestly, let's call it there. I can feel my hands starting to fatigue on the controls here. Oh, I hope that popping noise doesn't come out through the mic. It shouldn't? Hopefully not. My apologies. Right. I have no idea if that's good or not. I don't know if it's just taking its time to update. But it does mean that I'll need to do 2 to 3 more trips. Like this to get my full worth out of this. And get those shotguns. Even though I probably won't even ever use them. So yeah, let's fly back, hand in the vouchers, and call it there. Because Because if I continue, I'm gonna start messing up my shots a lot more. But I am happy to say my build is quite solid. It does need... it's not fully engineered. It's not 100% fully engineered. There's a couple of modules that I need to be clapped a few times so that they're in the right condition to really start laying into these combat zones. But to do that, I need to actually do a bit of material gathering. That might be actually an idea for tomorrow's video. I would like to do a little bit of flying about in an exploration ship to have a bit of fun, a break from the combat, and gather some engineering materials whilst I'm flying about, because there's like a couple of places I would like to go to visit, see, mess around with, etc. But yeah, let's go ahead and call it there. Once I've landed, of course. I'm not gonna put the ending soon screen yet. I want to Mogma ring, right? That's the one we're supposed to land at, right? Yeah. Mogma. Smogma. But curious why I was able to survive so much is like, dude, notice I've got like a shield health of 1,300. Armor health is 1,100, which is like decent amount of armor, but my resistances are all positive, which is nice. Shield explosive and what was my thermal resistance on my shields? Shield's thermal resistance is only 11, which is again like one of the reasons why I want to try and get this thing fully engineered at some point, because this is going to be my combat, my warship, my thing that I'm going to be throwing into conflict zones. It isn't... I mean, it's no Corvette, but I don't really have the capacity right now to fully engineer and deploy a Corvette. Partly because I want to try and see what am I going to do with the Corvette in a combat configuration. Because if I do a combat Corvette, I've got to contend with the fact with not being the most maneuverable, but the advantage of having two huge hard points that are in a ideal position to be firing upwards in the traditional combat flow, which is rotate till the enemy is above you and then pull upwards. So those weapons will be incredibly good for gimbals, but I do want something that's going to be an ideal heavy hitter. And honestly, it is looking like 4 multi-cannons with tracking rounds, 2 large burst lasers with what is the question? 2 huge burst lasers with what? And then a large hard point. I really don't know what to do with there. I guess I'll do what I traditionally do, is put 1 missile launcher there. More ideal setup would have 1 large missile launch and 2 pack hounds, and then 2 small multi-cannons with tracking rounds, and then the 2 huge burst lasers. With what secondary though? Anyways, I forgot to request docking permission before I rammed into the station. Excuse me. Oh, but I timed it perfectly. I was just outside of the exclusion zone before I rammed in and requested docking. It was calculated. It was on purpose. It wasn't an accident. Anyways. So, how do I hand these in? I guess it's not by a power contract, because power contract is not what we're looking for. We're probably going to be combat bond. 600 by Pilots Federation. This thing will probably take a while to update. So yes, I guess we can end with a little side view here. Oh, what side view are we gonna go? Yeah, let's do a little view like that. That's cute. Yes, thank you very much for those who have watched. I should consider maybe liking, subscribing. Those, of course, watching in future. Hello, thank you very much for watching as well. I'm going to be closing off. I will be, of course, streaming. I tend to also announce on Blue Sky when, where, how I go live on Saturdays and Sundays, so useful to follow me there. I also tend to post a lot of 3D modeling pictures and art things, and ramble and complain about the cold a lot. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, week, weekend, all those things. Goodbye. Hello, system. Could you